From the Army Reserves, I am an other than honorable discharge, and I have a active duty honorable discharge for 34 days. They said that my orders were undeliverable to my home of record address in Houston, where my parents still live to this day. I had a stress fracture in my left knee and my left foot, and also a back injury. I got them very early on in basic and was having pain and a little bit of tingling and numbness. I kept telling my drill sergeants that there was something wrong. Every time they sent me to the doctor, they took x-rays and nothing was showing up on the x-rays. What was also unusual is that I ended up having a 2-week Christmas exodus between my basic training and my advanced individual training. So when I went home on my 2-week exodus, my feet swelled up to about the size of grapefruits. So when I went to my advanced individual training, I said, you know, you guys keep saying there's nothing wrong, but there's clearly something wrong. And it took about 4 more weeks for me to get a bone scan, which revealed the stress fractures. So I did almost all of my training on my stress fractures and with my injured back, and went back into my retail career after I got out of the reserves, where I was lifting and throwing freight and walking and climbing ladders. So eventually, since my stress fractures never healed properly, I developed traumatic arthritis in both my feet and my knees. I have a permanent back injury, and now I'm starting to have difficulty with weakness in my ankles. The congressional inquiry that was done on my behalf said that the reason I was given this other than honorable discharge is that the orders that they sent to me were undeliverable. There was really not much explanation besides that. So my interpretation is kind of that someone dropped the ball, whether it was the post office or whether it was whoever drafted the orders, because they should have really given me AWOL and made me a dishonorable discharge if it was the case that I had ignored orders. So someone's like, these orders weren't exactly ignored, so they kind of just threw me into this other box, basically. That's like the best I can see from what I was able to see out of my records. A lot of people got discharged under what we call OTH for a myriad of reasons, and most people haven't run into somebody in my particular situation, so mostly people are just confused. There's a question as to whether or not I'm going to have issue if I'd like to get federal employment eventually. Currently I work for the state, and it wasn't an issue for that. But again, any like higher level security clearance, it's going to show up and there could be a problem. Since I got injured in the military and my disabilities came from those injuries, it makes me feel like the Army and the VA aren't recognizing what I ultimately had to sacrifice. I just finished using VA vocational rehabilitation to pay for my undergraduate degree. I'm currently service-connected and receiving disability benefits. I'm ineligible for GI Bill that I had while I was in the reserves, and so far I believe that's all, but since my status is kind of strange, I'm not really sure. If I ended up becoming re-eligible for the GI Bill that I earned, even if it isn't a lot of money, that would help go towards law school eventually. I would be eligible for, like I said, probably my reserve GI Bill again. I would be eligible for a medical discharge upgrade from my injuries, so that would probably be the biggest impact. I'm right at the beginning. I just submitted my paperwork to the legal clinic so they could review it.